Balancing redox reactions. First and foremost, why do we balance chemical equations shown in chemical reactions? Now, balancing a chemical equation is important in order to follow the law of conservation of mass. The law of conservation of mass overlooks the balancing of a chemical equation, suggesting that matter can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Matter can only transform from one form to another. Now, this module carries the following objectives. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify reducing and oxidizing agents in a redox reaction, and of course, learn to balance redox reactions. At the onset, there are a lot of chemical reactions that we could look at, but for this module, we will be focusing on oxidation reduction reactions, or better known as redox. Now, redox reactions involve transfer of electrons and is in fact a representation of a very unique chemical change in which oxidation is always occurred by a reduction reaction. Oxidation happens when there is a complete or partial loss of electrons, while reduction happens when there is a complete or partial gain of electrons. Example of this will be combustion of gasoline, burning of wood, burning of food in the body. Now, one very useful device or mnemonic will be LEO, the lion sager. So LEO stands for loss of electron, LE, and the O suggests that whenever there is a loss of electron, there is the process of oxidation. Sager naman, GER, the gain of electrons suggests that there is a reduction process happening. Now, apparently, in the formation of ionic compounds via redox, a transfer of electron is involved. In the formation of covalent compounds such as HCl, a shift of electron is involved. During the formation of MgO, we say that the reactant Mg or magnesium is oxidized and the reactant O2 is reduced. So notice that during the oxidation of Mg, so the reactant Mg loses electrons, while during the reduction of O2, the reactant O2 gains electrons. So as Mg reduces O2, it is called the reducing agent. On the other hand, O2 oxidizes Mg or magnesium, so we call it the oxidizing agent. Now, let's take a look at this example. Okay. Now, to monitor which atom loses electrons and which atom gains electron, we assign ON or oxidation number. So, one hint of telling whether the reaction taking place is a redox is the changes in the oxidation states, which is represented by the oxidation numbers. So, in here we have SnCl2 or tin-2 chloride. In the old nomenclature, we say or we name this as stannous chloride, and TbCl4 is lead tetrachloride. Okay, so in here, notice the oxidation numbers. Okay, so by inspection, we have the following oxidation numbers for our reactants. So in this case, notice that Sn or our tin-2 has a change of positive 2. Okay, so meaning to say it lost 2 electrons. Since it lost 2 electrons, therefore Sn or our tin is oxidized. Meanwhile, if you're going to look at Pb or lead, by looking at the change in oxidation states or oxidation numbers, notice that Pb gained at least 2 electrons. Therefore, because it is gaining 2 electrons, Pb or lead is reduced. We just have to take note that the one oxidized will be our reducing agent, while the one reduced will be our oxidizing agent. So in here, our reducing agent is tin chloride or tin and tin chloride, and our oxidizing agent is lead in lead tetrachloride. Now, we have here another example. So, again, ganun pa rin ang gagawin natin. Titingnan pa rin natin yung kanilang oxidation numbers. At this point, take note that H here occurs as H2, no? So, it is occurring as a free element. So, ibig sabihin, yung H atom mo dito ay merong oxidation number na 0. And then, in the assignment of oxidation numbers, we know that whenever oxygen is paired with another atom, it always takes the oxidation number of -2, except if it is paired with another atom resulting to a peroxide or fluorine. Okay? On the product side naman, kung titingnan natin, si copper now has an oxidation number of 0 because copper here is existing as a free element, while in H2O, H has the oxidation number of 1 and 2 has an oxidation number of, oxygen has an oxidation number of -2. So if we're going to track the change in the oxidation number, we may notice that hydrogen, okay, from 0 to 1 has lost at least 1 electron, and so hydrogen is oxidized. Meanwhile, your copper, okay, has gained 2 electrons. From +2, naging 0 ang kanyang oxidation number, and so in here, copper is reduced. Therefore, our oxidizing agent is copper and our reducing agent is hydrogen. Okay, now as a rule, a balanced chemical equation is necessary for quantitative analysis, especially in stoichiometry. So therefore, we need to have a balanced chemical equation to represent a particular reaction. For redox, we have two methods available. The first one is the oxidation number change method, and the other is the half reaction or ion electron method. There are redox reactions which can easily be balanced through the oxidation number change method, but there's a but. There are reactions that needs the half reaction or ion electron method in order to be balanced. So for this module, we will focus first on the oxidation number change method before we go into the half reaction or ion electron method, because the half reaction method also sits by the principles of the oxidation number change method. So unahin natin yung medyo less complicated. Okay. Now, say we are asked to balance this equation. So this equation represents the reduction of iron ore to metal iron using CO or carbon monoxide. So as mentioned earlier, the first task is assigning the oxidation numbers to all of the atoms. Now, the assignment of oxidation numbers to all of the atoms allow us to track which one loses and which one gains electron, or when the electron is lost or being transferred or split. And therefore, our first step is to assign oxidation numbers to all of the atoms in both the reactant and the product side. Kailangan nga lang, okay, mag-follow tayo ng rules for assigning an oxidation number. So this is already discussed in class, and as we recap, take note that for an atom in an elemental form, the oxidation number has to be equal to 0. Pagka naman meron ka monoatomic ion, whether it's positively charged or negatively charged, the oxidation number will be equal to the charge of the ion. Now, in the event that there is a polyatomic ion, so the sum of the oxidation numbers or the oxidation number values of the atoms in a polyatomic ion equals the ion's charge. Same is true with the molecule or formula unit ng isang compound. Now, if it is a neutral one, so the sum of the oxidation number values for the atoms sa isang molecule or formula unit of a compound has to be equal to 0. Several specific rules also apply for atoms that are situated in the same groups in the periodic table of elements. So it is important also na alam natin kung saan group na bebelong ang ating involved na elements because hindi lahat ng elements nagki-carry ng unique na oxidation number. In fact, most of the alkaline earth metals and the alkali metals carry more than one oxidation numbers, which is very, very interesting and at the same time very tricky, especially kung sila yung involved sa ating reaction. Okay, so in here, we have to assign oxidation numbers for Fe for oxygen and for carbon. By the way, Fe is iron. Okay. So, taking all of the considerations for the rules in assigning oxidation numbers, take note na si Fa2O3 or your iron 3 oxide or sa old naming, we call this as the ferric oxide, isa siyang formula unit ng isang compound. And so, dapat yung sum ng oxidation numbers dito ng mga atoms dapat ay naka-0. So, alam naman natin that whenever oxygen is there, the oxidation number of oxygen is always -2 except if it is in a peroxide or ang katambal niya ay fluorine. And therefore, for Fe2O3, so, ayan, if O is -2, so dapat i-match natin yung oxidation number na -6. So, -6 divided by 2 is supposedly ay 3. So, dapat para mag-0 siya, dapat si Fe meron siyang +3 na oxidation number. For CO, the same rules apply. The sum of the oxidation number must be 0. And since oxygen is -2, so we consider carbon to have an oxidation number of +2. Now, dito naman tayo sa ating product. So, Fe here is in its elemental form and it stands alone. So, the oxidation number for Fe is 0, while the carbon dioxide or CO2 follows the same rules that we imposed with the other compounds and telling us that oxygen is -2 while carbon is +4. Now, next step is to identify which atoms are oxidized, alin naman ang na-reduced. So, tracking natin yung ating change of number of electrons. So, kay Fe from +3, naging 0 siya. So, there is a change of -3. So, ibig sabihin, nag-gain siya ng electrons. Kay carbon naman, from +2, naging +4 siya. So, mas naging positive, meaning to say, nag-loss siya ng electrons. So, since iron gained 3 electrons, therefore, it is said to be reduced. And since iron is reduced, it is our oxidizing agent na nakapag-oxidize kay carbon, na in turn nag-loss ng 2 electrons, and is therefore our reducing agent. So, bale, yung iron natin, nag-oxidize siya or siya yung nag-cause ng oxidation kay carbon, so siya yung ating oxidizing agent. While si carbon naman in return, ni-reduce niya si iron, so carbon is our reducing agent. The next step is to make the total increase in oxidation number equal to the total decrease in the oxidation number by using appropriate coefficients. You could start with the reactant side, but you could also start with the product side. In this case kasi, we start with the reactant side because ang nangyari is that si reactant side, nasa, anong tawag dito? Prominent sa reactant side natin, CFE. So, in here, we have to match the numbers -3 and +2. So, common multiple of these two will be 6. So, kailangan nating maabot ang 6 electron exchange, whether gained or lost. So, anong dapat natin gawin? Pwede tayong mag-multiply ng common multiplier. This means to say that the equation should show at least 2 Fe atoms. Okay? And then what's next is, yan, yung meron dapat tayong tatlong uh, atoms din, that is for carbon. So the coefficient for carbon must be equal to 3. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. So your gain of 3 electrons times dalawang atoms or times 2 will be equal to 6 electrons gained. Yung isa naman, the loss of 2 electrons times 3 atoms, you have to have 6 electrons lost. Okay, pag nilagay mo yan sa equation, since these two are gained and lost, so automatic, pwede mo siyang i-crush out sa final na balanced equation mo. Next. All right. So the fourth one is to check to be sure that the equation is balanced for both atom and charge. So in here, nasiguro naman na natin na yung atoms or yung charges mo are equal. Dito naman tayo sa atoms. So try to check. Let's try to check. So iron, meron tayong dalawa sa reactant, dalawa din sa product. Carbon, meron tayong tatlo sa reactant, meron din tayong tatlo sa product. And oxygen, meron tayong 6 sa reactant, 6 din sa product. So it means to say that our equation is now already balanced. Okay, as a recap for the oxidation number change method, first, you have to assign oxidation numbers to all atoms. Second, kailangan i-identify mo aling atoms ang oxidized at alin namang atoms ang reduced. Third, you have to make the total increase in oxidation number equal to the total decrease in the oxidation number by using appropriate coefficients on both the product and the reactant side. And the fourth one is to check to be sure that the equation is balanced for both atoms and charges. And now here's another example. So we are asked to balance the following. So we have here copper and silver. Okay, this time we have an equation that shows charged ions. So we have copper 2 plus ions and silver ion. Okay, first things first. Kailangan daw nating assign ng oxidation numbers to all atoms. So according to the rule, oxidation number of an ion is equal to its charge. And so we have the following. So silver here has +1, copper 2 plus iron has +2, while both Cu and Ag that are in solid form stands as uncombined elements. So the oxidation number for both will be equal to 0. Next is, tingnan natin yung loss and gain of electrons. So therefore, in here, dahil si copper is from the oxidation number of 0, naging +2. So copper has a loss of 2 electrons, while silver, which is having +1, ngayon ay 0 na. So silver gained 1 electron. Okay, next is to determine which is oxidized and reduced. So sabi natin kanina, si copper nag-loss ng 2 electrons, so ibig sabihin na oxidized siya. Then further, this tells us na si copper ang ating reducing agent, while si silver naman ang ating oxidizing agent. Next is, kailangan daw natin i-balance ang total increase in oxidation number versus the total decrease in oxidation number using coefficients. So in this case, kailangan ko ng multiplier na 1 and 2 para meron akong 2 electrons lost, meron din akong 2 electrons gained. Okay. Next step is to write the coefficients accordingly. So 1 for copper, dalawang copper, 1, then 2 for silver, okay, on both sides. And last but not the least, check muna natin to be sure that the equation is balanced for both atoms at charge. So, meron tayong isang copper and then dalawang silver. So, check tayo sa number of atoms. Sa atin namang charges, so si copper, walang charge, 0. Ito, yung silver natin may charge na positive 1 times 2. So, ang charge ng ating left side ng reaction is positive 2. Sa kabila naman, sa product side, si Cu ay 2 plus. Okay? But si silver here is 0. So, ibig sabihin, ang charge ng reactant side ay plus 2. Ang charge naman ng product side ay plus 2. Kaso lang, hindi na tayo po naglalagay ng number 1 sa ating mga coefficients. And so, this equation must look like this. Tanggal na po yung number 1. Ang mananatili na lang ay si number 2 for both silver ions at saka silver na solid. Okay. Ngayon naman, look at this one. Same pa rin. So, these are charged, no, ions on both sides. First is we identify daw dapat which reactant is oxidized. Alin naman yung reduced. Letter B, tell which is the oxidizing agent and the reducing agent. And letter C, we have to balance the equation. So, first thing first, assign tayo ng oxidation number. So, kung ano ang charge ng ating ion, yun din ang kanyang oxidation number. So, madali lang namang sundan. Next is determine natin kung alin yung reducing agent. So, excuse me. In this case, yung nag-loss ng dalawang electron na si tin 2 plus ang ating reducing agent at si iron 3 plus ang ating oxidizing agent. Okay, to balance the equation, dapat magkaroon tayo ng multiplier para yung loss ng electron must be equal to the gain of electrons. So in this case, 1 at 2 yung gagamitin natin. Same numbers din ang gagamitin natin para sa ating coefficients. So in this case, ang 2 dapat ay coefficient ni Fe. Okay. So, saan ko ba siya dapat ilalagay? Alright. Okay, so ilalagay ko dapat ang 2 before the F sa Fe. Okay, so we will check, no? Sa left-hand side or reactant side, meron tayong oxidation number na plus 2 para sa tin. So, that's 2. Kaso lang, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So, this is plus 8. Okay? Plus 8 yung ating charge para sa reactant side. Sa product side naman, si Sn ay 4 plus, meron tayong dalawang tig to 2. So, 4 plus 4 equals 8. Ibig sabihin, charge-wise, this equation is balanced. As to the number of atoms, pare-pareho din ang number of atoms sa reactant at saka sa product side. So, we say that this equation is balanced in both atoms or number of atoms and charges. Okay. In some cases, such as those specified to occur at a particular medium, so example, basic or acidic solution, hindi na po pwede na etong oxidation number change method ang gagamitin. In fact, the more appropriate one for those types of equation will be your half reaction method or your ion electron method, which is another topic that we will explore later on as we continue with Module 1. Now, if you want to explore more examples, you can look for the following references in both print and online version. Lahat ng content ng module na ito ay galing sa mga references listed on this slide.